let him out. If he was unaccounted for, you want to be seeing that openness. They do have everyone that was there. So trying to like get witnesses, a lot of times when you don't have an understanding of who's there, you don't want everyone just to leave because you're going to need to take witness statements.
We thought the big story of today and the White House Correspondents' Dinner would be Grindr sponsoring part of the event. But no. Reports are coming in that shots were fired from the lobby of the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and right now they are evacuating the people that are there. Trump and other administrative officials have already been removed. What you hear in the background are reports from people that are on the scene right now. So all the updates are coming in right now. CNN was the first one to report that there was an, at the time, active shooter in the lobby. Right now, law enforcement is on the scene. So we'll listen to...
If you guys can see our shot, is where the Washington Hilton is. Over the course of the last hours, the perimeter was already shut down largely here to vehicle traffic.
So yeah, there are reports that people are now speculating. I shouldn't say that there are reports. People are speculating that whoever the alleged armed shooter was has been neutralized. But there are people who have stated that they did hear gunshots. I've yet to confirm anyone who saw a shooter actually take a shot. But National Guard is now currently in the lobby. I'm looking at them in the lobby right now, and officials have been removed. Thus far, everyone has been removed from the ballroom. Keep in mind, this is regarding the White House Correspondents' Dinner that was just beginning to get underway tonight. The first one to report was CNN, stating that there was an active shooter in the lobby. Latest reports is that there were shots fired in the lobby. Who exactly shot those shots at this point? Not certain. There is speculation that shots were fired to neutralize the potential shooter. There's also speculation that a shooter took shots. All speculation right now has yet to be confirmed who actually took shots. There are people on the ground claiming that the alleged shooter has been neutralized. Still, unsubstantiated, no confirmation on that right now. What you're hearing in the background are various reporters that are on the scene that were there for the White House Correspondents' Dinner. So I'm going to increase the volume just a little bit so you can hear it a little bit better.
Text message, even trying to establish connection here outside with you guys was difficult here. So I think that is where there is still, for the folks that are still stuck inside, there is going to be a gap of information that we're trying to figure out in real time. At MS Now, our table where we were seated, we were actually seated next to FBI Director Kash Patel. And this is a moment here when you were looking at the administration, not only the president and Melania Trump, J.D. Vance, Pete Hegseth, other
okay, right now, looking at live footage.
Throughout that room there. I want to be very clear, where we were seated, we were in the back of the ballroom, MS Now's table, and it sounded like it was coming up from the corridors of the lobby where folks first entered in.
Okay, not live footage, sorry. They are replaying footage from inside. Looks like National Guardsmen moved in, had everybody drop to the floor, and I don't think this was handled very well. But hold on, let me see if I can move this over to get you all a shot of this.
To where it sounded as if the gunshots had come from. Kash Patel, we actually walked alongside of him as we were trying. It's packed in there. We were trying to make our way out through the tables alongside Kash Patel. We saw the White House press pool that was stationed over by an elevator. They apparently would indicate to me that the president was still inside of the hotel and had not left. The White House press
if my mouse will cooperate, sorry guys.
The president of the United States wherever he goes. Of course, when you're looking at Butler, Pennsylvania, though, the president was rushed to the hospital. Different circumstance. The president not struck here. But we saw the White House press pool holding over by the elevator doors. That is the contingency. One TV outlet, one print outlet that is designated on a particular day to be with the president there.
Hold on.
So there is a lot of questions here as to exactly what unfolded. I kind of also, I know I'm kind of going off here.
Phone stands real quick.
essentially one main set of metal detectors.
Do this a little bit better for you guys.
Everybody had to have a ticket to enter the Hilton, Washington Hilton. And then once you
flip this a
get
little bit.
your ticket, you either go down the escalator or up the escalator, depending on which level you're entering from. And then it is just outside of that main ballroom, about 100 yards away is where that metal detector is that everybody has to go through. We do not have information at this point in time, as I am talking here, whether the apparent gunman had made it through the metal detector or not, or whether shots were fired before that metal detector. If the shots were in fact fired before the metal detector, we would have very likely heard that from inside of the ballroom. It did not sound like the shots were fired, within, 50 feet of us. It did sound like an echo almost further down lobby there. But I think that is where it is notable when the long rifles, when the Secret Service jumped in, Pete Hegseth, for instance, about maybe 4 or 5 minutes later was led walking and standing, which would indicate that they believed the perimeter to be at least somewhat secure. Again, I'm thinking, Jackie, that was about 5 minutes after. Jackie Alamane is standing with me here. That was about 5 minutes after. Jackie is joining me. Jackie, it was about 5 minutes after we saw, after the shots were fired, that Pete Hegseth made his way down. And he was standing when he exited the back where it sounded like the gunshots came from, which would suggest the perimeter was secure. And I don't think they would have let the FBI director, Kash Patel, leave the Washington Hilton in the way that we saw him leave if they were not confident that somebody had been detained or some sort of situation in which they believed that this was an incident that was all but under control.
That sounds right, that it was a very chaotic moment. And even when you were watching,
just heard it from inside. They're resuming the program shortly. They made an announcement in the ballroom.
Jesse Rodriguez is telling us that they are resuming the program here shortly.
Everyone was evacuated. It was being evacuated.
Okay, so stay with us. This continues. I know that this is happening in real time, Vaughn, and your eyewitness report is helping us kind of piece together so many things that are happening. It seems likely that this happened, if this did happen beyond the security bubble, beyond the outside the magnetometers and the metal detectors, then this would actually be a scenario where the security plan worked because the potential assailant was stopped and was foiled in their plot.
Right. And you can see here, folks, I know a great many folks watching probably have not been to Washington, D.C., but Connecticut Avenue is the main corridor that runs, all but close to the White House and Pennsylvania Avenue, up to where the Washington Hilton is at in northwest Washington. It's probably, I would say, 3 miles from the White House. And we have not seen any other motorcades, but to watch this at a standstill, we're going to make our way back over here to see if we can get closer. If the program is resuming, is the assumption, guys, that we may be able to get back closer then? I think that there's a lot of questions for even.
Restart the little bit. Okay, we're not letting anybody in unless you're police.
And so...
What's the answer?
Yeah, we're good. We're not going in. But
you have to go that now. Everyone that's coming up here, you have to go this way.
And so, as you can hear, they're still keeping the perimeter, but it sounds like the White House Correspondents' Dinner is going to go forward as planned here, despite the evacuations. It's not clear whether everybody left the premise or not. People like the FBI director or Pete Hegseth or J.D. Vance, the vice president, but I'm going to try to, guys, I honestly saw Carol. We walked out with Carol Lenig. We walked out with a few others of our colleagues, and we're going to try to see what information we can get from them. Our Jake Trailer, our White House, our actually...
Vaughn, just stay with me. Vaughn, stay with me for 1 second. I just want to know if the pictures that we're looking at are live from inside the ballroom control room. Is that a live picture? Okay, so we are seeing some activity still inside the ballroom, which means that there are still people there, Vaughn. And it's clear based on what you're reporting and obviously what you were just showing us that the police are asking you to keep moving away from the hotel, at least expanding the perimeter. But there are still people inside the ballroom who have not left. So we'll see exactly... how, to the reporting and to what you were saying, what Jesse was also saying, that the program will continue. It's going to be interesting to see whether they allow people like you, Vaughn, and others who have been pushed away from the perimeter to return to the hotel and actually enter the ballroom. It's clear they haven't been given that order yet.
I also was just passed along from our colleague, White House reporter Jake Traylor, that the White House is saying that President Trump is okay and that he was not hit by anything here. But yeah, the president, as you can see,
Mom's breaking up a little bit. He's breaking up a little bit as we're watching that podium and want to know more information about what's happening here. And now we're going to join by phone MS Now anchor Luke Russer. Luke, can you tell us what you heard and saw and what's happening right now?
So far, like I said, a lot of conflicting reports from people right now. So let's go over real quick what is confirmed, because we know anytime anything like this comes out, there are people that want to appear to be scooping and they want to sensationalize things, and that's just not that. Where we watch, PBS does have coverage right now. I'm going back and forth between PBS, MS Now. And there are a lot of people phoning it in, and there are different people who are at the Correspondents' Dinner that are live right now. But so far, what it has been confirmed is that there was someone with a firearm in the lobby. It was just confirmed that the person in the lobby had not made it through the portion where there are metal detectors. So they had not made it through that part. 2, it was confirmed that shots were fired. What has not been confirmed is who actually fired the shots. Was it the perceived shooter, or was it law enforcement trying to neutralize the person? It has been alleged that the suspected shooter has been neutralized. That has not been confirmed just yet. Looking at the footage of how the National Guard handled this, I'm glad whatever happened, they were able to get it done quickly, because they literally were willing to use these correspondence bodies as shields from how they ran in there. So that is what we have confirmed at this point. Per the White House, President Trump is fine, unhurt, was not shot or injured in any way. He, as well as others within this current administration that were present for the official White House Correspondents' Dinner, were successfully evacuated and are away from the event space. Where the Correspondents' Dinner was being held, police are the only ones being allowed back in thus far for anybody who has already left the premises. There were some people who did not leave the premises that just kind of sat in place, went underneath a table, whatever they did. But it's also being said that the Correspondents' Dinner will continue on tonight. Some people have left and just said, screw this, I'm out, I'm going home, I'm going wherever. Some people, like I said, have stayed. Some people are on the outside. But once again, to reiterate what has been confirmed, there was a suspected shooter, someone with a gun in the lobby. They had not passed through the metal detectors yet. 2, gunshots were confirmed to have been heard. Who the gunshots came from, it has not been confirmed yet. There is speculation that a suspected shooter was neutralized. Once again, not confirmed at this point. That's what we have. Well, I keep missing. Well, they weren't close enough to him. They weren't close. They were in the lobby. He was already inside the event. Now, I will tell you, because I was watching this event from the beginning, that's what I do. When he came in, right before he decided to salute for the national anthem, he mouthed the words, "I don't feel well." Now, I'm not saying that's connected with what happened. I thought that was going to be the story that I was going to tell y'all. I was like, is this the night? Is he under the weather? Like, is he going to have to skid out? Like, that's the story I thought that I was going to be working on tonight for y'all. So, yeah. So yeah, people are trickling back in. People are walking around. There are people on phones. Like I said, there are some people live streaming from the event sporadically. I don't know what their rules are there as far as the coverage. There are people outside that are live streaming. I've got a couple different streams going on. But they're saying they are going to continue with whoever decided to stay. Couldn't be me. Could not be me. Bubbles on ice for the day it happened. You and me both. Rose Benita, I thought he was close to the end because, like I said, when I originally started watching the Correspondence Dinner, I started watching it. I stepped away to go do some other stuff, came back, and as I came back, it was like the I guess you could say the opening pomp and circumstances, and it appeared that he mouthed the words, "I don't feel well." I thought that's where the story was going for tonight, honestly and truly. And then as I was sitting, they were like starting to rush people out, and I'm like, what's going on? So yes, there was someone with a firearm in the lobby before. They do have metal detectors there. They had not crossed through the metal detectors as of yet. It has been confirmed that shots were heard and shots were fired. It's just not confirmed who the shots came from, the suspected shooter or law enforcement. So maybe they were afraid for his life. Oh no, terrible. Yeah, and my thing is, every time Trump's approval rating starts to tank, we get these attempts. I don't know if that's the case tonight. I don't know if somebody is just fed up because the head of OpenAI had their front door firebombed. People have been tossing Molotov cocktails at Tesla dealerships. I don't know. I will say, when I was skipping through some of the live feeds of the Correspondence Dinner, in the comment section, one person said for the Epsteinth time, eliminate him. Like they were calling for him to kick the bucket. So I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. Like I said, when I was looking at the Correspondence Dinner, the story I thought that I would be putting together for y'all, this was not on the bingo card. This is coming from the Secret Service saying that the alleged shooter is in fact in custody. Okay, so right now, it has been confirmed by the Secret Service, the alleged shooter, they're calling them an alleged shooter at this point. So I guess we can speculate that they did at least take a shot, is now in custody. So the alleged shooter, according to the Secret Service, is now in custody. They say in custody, but they always have the wrong guy. Everybody, the president had taken his seat. Everybody was inside of the ballroom when the shots were fired. So the number of eyewitnesses now, and this very minuscule. But I'm gonna turn this down just a little bit. I'm gonna keep it a little bit of volume. And that's the thing. If this was an actual attempt, okay, once again, this person had not made it through the metal detectors. Everybody was in the ballroom, including Trump. Like I said, I confirmed with my own eyes, watching it live, he was in the ballroom. He had saluted, all that stuff. Why start shooting in the lobby, especially before you cross over the metal detector? What does that do? Now, I realize I'm not an assassin, not a would-be assassin. I don't play one on TV, okay? But just using smarticle particles, like what would that accomplish? What would that? I don't get it. Was anyone injured with the shots? I was just watching. Thus far, I have not heard anything that has been confirmed as far as anyone being hurt by any shots fired. I will say I don't know who trained this round of National Guardsmen, because why do we do things the way that we just did them? So. And also, to clear the air, the White House Correspondence Dinner that's taking place tonight is not what Grindr sponsored. This is a whole weekend full of a multitude of events, okay? It's a whole to-do. One of the previous events leading up to this one was hosted by Grindr. Okay? We can have jokes, but let the jokes be accurate. All right. Okay. So let's go over what has been confirmed. You're welcome, friend. This was the first he had attended as president. He has avoided them ever since he was embarrassed by Barack Hussein Obama. When he read him for when he roasted the hell out of him. And the thing about it is, I didn't expect Trump to be so butthurt about being roasted when he paid for Comedy Central to allow people to roast him. Y'all remember that? Because I remember. And that was a little brutal. Not to mention, Trump spent decades being the butt of multiple people's jokes. Multiple. Usually because of his bankruptcies and failed marriages and everything. So I don't know why his skin got so thin all of a sudden. But real quick, let's recap what has been confirmed, okay? We are going to discuss what has been confirmed. Okay. Most recently, Secret Service has confirmed that the alleged shooter is in custody. Okay. Shots were fired in the lobby. The alleged shooter was in the lobby, in the portion of the lobby that was before you get to the metal detectors. That is what has been confirmed. Some people were evacuated out. Some people stayed in place. Right now, there are people in the building. There are other people that are outside the building, and they are not being permitted to go back in until law enforcement goes in and does their thing and says all clear. Thus far, the official word is that they are going to continue on with the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And keep in mind, usually they have comedians come in, do a little something. The main attraction for tonight, I guess you could say, is a mentalist. Yes, I know there was a TV show called The Mentalist, but this person is a mentalist and comedian. Conservatives aren't really known for comedy. They're rarely funny. Well, they're not funny on purpose. You see how slow the detail react? Yeah. In replay, you hear the complete... Well, not only that, as I was watching, you could see National Guardsmen come in, and they're like straddling tables. They're not really going to secure people and make sure that people are down. Like, there's tons of correspondents, tons of journalists in between them, their firearms, and the lobby where there's an active shooter. And I said that earlier in this live, like, I'm glad that things went the way that they did because they were willing to sacrifice them people. And I'm sorry, I think I've made it very clear. Sacrifice me. I will come back and haunt you and all your kindred. Your whole legacy is going to be haunted. You understand me? And I'm not doing no cutesy haunting either. I'm doing very inconsiderate haunting. Okay, you think you about to get down with the get down? Gonna have you some adult fun? No, you're not. No, I'm gonna drop all the lube in the house. Okay? You think you about to have a good sleep? Nope. Hope you're not epileptic. Because I'm about to turn this into a flashlight extravaganza. Just flicking the lights out. Your French fries will never be crispy again. Every bit of cheese will be molded in the refrigerator. I may not be a mean person, but I'm a creative person. I will be a very creative ghost. Right, I'm going to be very, like, you're not going to exorcise me out of the house because you're not going to think that you're being haunted. Okay, you're going to replace that refrigerator 67 times because each day a different compartment of the refrigerator is just not going to chill anything. Your freezer won't make ice anymore. Watch. You'll go to make mop water be gone. You'll be like, is there a hole in the bucket? Nope. Mm-mm.
Tray that had crashed with water or plates. That was the second process.
Okay, looks like traffic. There's some traffic moving outside the venue now. Well, law enforcement traffic, I should say.
Secret Service and other security jumped into the ballroom. Medical?
Sorry, updating the other 50% of the news crew for GCPR radio. What I have and seeing what they have as far as information. Okay. So, all right. This is why it's lovely to be able to work in conjunction with people President Donald Trump Sr. was reported uninjured, and other top leaders of the United States were evacuated from the annual dinner of the White House correspondents tonight. Dinner organizers said there will be an announcement shortly, and that they will be resuming shortly. They made that announcement from the stage. Most attendees are closed inside of the ballroom and can't leave. There are some that are outside of the ballroom right now as well. Like I said, there are multiple of them on the outside right now that are live streaming. RFK Jr. was evacuated. He looks pissed off while being evacuated. But for the fact that they keep flashing back into a live feed of the ballroom and people are smiling, I'm going to say that the threat has been neutralized. If they restart the event, then I have to assume no major injury. Yeah, I have not gotten any confirmation on any injuries whatsoever as of yet. We know with stuff like this that in 5 minutes we may find out that 10 people got trampled. I don't know. Not saying that that happened, not wishing that that would happen, but I'm saying right now, no confirmation. And for those that are new to me, I'm not going to sit here and speculate on a whole lot. I'll have a few jokes because right now nobody's injured. So yeah, I'm going to have some jokes because when Trump's involved, it's always comedic. But I'd rather be slow to go and accurate than quick and wrong. That's my motto over here. Some people are coming and getting their photos taken. I know Julia Jester, who you guys were talking to earlier. Julia Jester that area was just outside of where the metal detectors were, about 50 feet. And I know that... Okay, here's a bit of information. The White House Correspondents' Dinner tonight is being held at the Hilton Hotel in D.C. And it's being reported by the Associated Press right now that generally the Hilton Hotel, where the dinner has taken place for years, remains open to regular guests during the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and security has typically been focused on the ballroom and rather than the hotel at large, with little screening for people not entering the dinner itself. In past years, that has created openings for disruptions in the lobby and other public spaces, including protests in which security moved to remove guests who unfurled banners or staged demonstrations. That just seems stupid. If we have so many leaders within our administration that historically and traditionally go to the White House Correspondents' Dinner, why are we just letting any and everybody be at the hotel and be disruptive? What? Ever since Secret Service has been tasked with protecting Trump, they just don't seem to care about protocol. Everybody seems to be very lax when it comes to Trump. We're not going to secure the whole hotel. We're just going to focus on the ballroom. Secret Service, you trying to tell us something? Like, you want a pizza party? You want a pizza party to make our dreams come true? What you need? I'm pretty sure we can crowdsource and get it done for you. I'm pretty sure we got some Tias and some Mimos and some Papos that'll get in the kitchen and cook what you want. He does crave attention. He does, but I have noticed that the security has been very lax. Like when he first threw his hat in the ring in the arena for the latest race to POTUS Mountain, and he officially started campaigning, I said something was fishy because there's always a collection of people willing to talk to the press under the cloak of anonymity to snitch on him. So. Of course, Washington, D.C. Does this every single day in terms of shutting down. Whoa. Hold on. What just came in regarding Kash Patel? Hold on. Sorry, I've got multiple screens going to try to keep up with as much of this as possible. So,
were out in the distance. That is the main.
Oh, wait a second. We're going to come to that in just a second. Because that is quite curious.
An ambulance, 3 medical personnel vehicles make their way into the driveway.
Yeah, so if you see me looking to the right, to the left, I've got multiple screens up to try to get you as much information as possible. Trump bought at least $51 million in bonds in March, disclosure shows. Is that why we're having another attempt tonight, Trump? I'm not saying you behind it, Trump. I'm just saying I'm convinced that you're not. I'm not convinced that you aren't. U.S. President Donald Trump Sr. bought at least $51 million in bonds in March, according to financial disclosures released on Saturday, with the purchases spanning several sectors. Trump carried out 175 financial transactions last month, according to forms released by the U.S. Office of Government Ethics. The forms don't include exact values for each sale or purchase, only range of values for each.
Into the Hilton, or whether it left from that second.
Interesting.
It looks like it's going in. So we now have 2 ambulances here.
And last night, it was reported that Kash, Turtle Boy Patel, got arrested for public urination after a night out of drinking. What? Okay, hold on. Being directed over to Twitter. Yes, I know what Elonia Muskrat calls it. We call it what it's for, they named it. K.
Also being told here that Mayor Bowser of Washington, D.C. is on her way here to the Washington Hilton.
Oh, Mayor Bowser's on her way. Don't do it, girl. Stay home.
And the city here, there's potentially a news conference that perhaps we may get some more information. Of course, there's going to be the federal investigation. We saw
So, potential news conference coming up. Let's see. Hold on real quick.
They are essentially working with the federal agents and the Secret Service to ensure this scene here is secure. I think that we have not got anything more from the pool, right? No. And we're waiting for another note from the pool. And again, I just want to reiterate for folks that are watching this, when I say the pool, there is always one TV outlet, one radio outlet, one newspaper outlet every single day that is assigned to travel with the President of the United States, because they don't allow every single news agency to be with the President on every single move. And so today, there was an agency, a TV outlet that was with the president, a newspaper outlet, a radio outlet. And right now, at this time, we are relying on some information coming from them because they are conveying to the rest of the news organizations what is perhaps accounting information.
Here we go.
They should be in closer
Let's
proximity
see.
to the president than we are here right now. Of course, we are talking to our own sources in the intel, in the White House as well. Here, trying to glean whatever information we can here. But really, we're a little short on understanding exactly what took place in that lobby, other than Secret Service saying that a gunman was detained, and there's now 4 medical.
Has anyone checked his social media accounts to see if he's blaming one? I'm checking now. I just got.
We just want to tell our viewers right now that obviously, as you were just outlining, we are getting information from multiple sources, including the White House Press Association, or the pool, as you were saying, Vaughn, from the reporters inside. We're also getting it from law enforcement and the President of the United States. And perhaps most notable, Vaughn,
Looks like Mr. Turtle Patel is the one taking the vast majority of the heat, because now people are placing bets as to if he will be officially fired tonight or in the morning. Because as I just read, he was arrested for public urination due to a night out of drinking, and now this, like, his mishandling is redonkulous.
Had been shot. As of now, the most definitive reporting that we have from the President of the United States is that the shooter has been apprehended.
So Trump is quoted as saying, since the shooter has been caught, he's saying, let the show go on. That is... I can't. This can't be reality. But it is. But it is.
police vehicles that are making their way around the backside of the Washington Hilton right now. But I think that's again.
Jeez, oh Pete. All right.
Whether the alleged gunman was
We're gonna
either shot and killed or whether he was detained. Initially, Secret Service is saying that he was detained.
No obituaries yet, sis. No obituaries yet. Once again, according to the Secret Service, the alleged shooter is in custody. I don't know if that means he's in custody and they talking to him. He's in custody because he's in a body bag. I don't know. I don't know if they've confirmed that he's a lone wolf. After years of covering stuff like this, I'm not. Nobody likes Cash. No, nobody likes Tadul Patel. Karsha Patel is not a popular guy. He's not that guy. Oh, wow. Okay. So. Okay. From 15 minutes ago on Truth Social.
We're a couple blocks away. We're 2 blocks down Connecticut Avenue from the Washington Hilton. That's the corner of Florida and Connecticut. This is the middle of
15 minutes ago on Truth Social from the current sitting president of the United States. Quite an evening in D.C. Secret Service and law enforcement did a fantastic job. They acted quickly and bravely. The shooter has been apprehended, and I have recommended that we let the show go on, but will entirely be guided by law enforcement. They will make a decision shortly. Regardless of that decision, the evening will be much different than planned, and we'll just plain have to do it again. President Donald J. Trump.
Of the Hilton in this direction out to other parts of this city, but I can tell you that just getting into this neighborhood is very, very difficult. A huge traffic meltdown right now.
You're absolutely right, Ursa. It doesn't sound like his normal ranting, and it's, I don't know. But as always, normally I would take this and put it into a video for my Meanwhile on Truth Social series, but we're here. We're together. So I'm just going to read. I don't think he wrote it either, Swords.
Yeah, Josh, and we do have an update from the Secret Service that is saying the suspect is in custody, but they are adding the caveat, condition unknown.
Okay, update regarding the suspect that's in custody. According to this, I don't mean to laugh. I think they think we're stupid. But according to the Secret Service, the condition of the suspect is unknown. If y'all have him in custody, how you don't know his condition? Or her condition, I don't know. Like, okay, so here we go. The responses to Trump's Truth Social, his truth. Essentially wrapping it up in a bow. He's saying, let the show go on, but he's going to wait for law enforcement to tell him what's going to happen. If they move forward, he's like, we can't move forward in the way that we originally were going to do it. You got people trapped in the ballroom. I'm happy he didn't feed them cold Big Macs, but okay. So, one response from EUGOT, the picture of Trump from Butler, Pennsylvania with the fight. Reminder, Trump was not injured tonight. He took no to anywhere. But they might need to redo the whole night. Yeah, he did say that.
And we're still waiting to hear where this individual was in relation to the Secret Service agents involved in this. But there always
at SC_MAGA, they put, pray for this man. It's a picture of Trump. He is fighting an evil we can't even imagine. Trump is the evil that we couldn't imagine till we looked at him. What's your theory, Swords? At 1776, We the People, 1776Q, they said, God protects him. It's a picture of Trump superimposed into a black and white American flag, and it says, "Pray for this man. He is up against a group of evil people who will do anything and everything to destroy his life." It was one person in the lobby before they even went through the metal detectors. This is somebody who was never going to get close enough to put a bullet in anybody of any type of importance.
You know, whether this person was injured, and if so, how badly.
Yeah, and I just want to note for our viewers, just
God, or Red Cross doctors. Like the jokes, etc., they usually would do at the dinner. They'll fear the Kirk effect. Ah, you're right. I think it might be a stunt to garner support. I said that in the beginning because I said every time his polling numbers go down and dwindle. And as I was saying before, it came out earlier today that Trump bought at least $51 million in bonds in March. So that's not looking too good. His approval rating due to the tariffs, not great. The war with Iran, not great. All of these things, just tank. And one thing for certain, two things for sure. Unfortunately, in the United States, historically, when someone appears to be a martyr, people tend to forget all of their transgressions. And it's like, we must rally together. And we're in an age of technology. So banking on xenophobia, drawing everyone together, and painting Trump as an almighty martyr, it's just not going to work, especially on the heels of people being reminded that Trump shared images of his sycophants portraying him as the Pope, him calling to be named the Pope of America, and then him deciding that he is Jesus again, because I still remember the gold statue made in his honor that they were worshiping at CPAC his first term, and how many people on a daily basis love to come to the internet and tell people that Trump is their Lord and Savior. So it's not going to work. It's not going to work. I mean, the only I will say Trump could potentially be a martyr to some lukewarm McDonald's, okay? He could, Hey, Tiny. So, what else? Oh, they just keep saying, pray for Trump each and every day. He is attacked 24/7, yet he wakes up every morning and fights for the American people. When did Trump become a black woman? Wait a second. Let me take a vote. Black woman delegation. Hey, y'all. Hey, Sister Cats. Did we facilitate a trade in some way, somehow? We got Trump. Is he one of us now? He's not. Yeah. Well, they say that he's, getting up every day, fighting a fight that he's not. He's fighting a fight against death. I know.
Law enforcement has requested that
okay. All right.
Consistent with protocol. And
hold on, real quick. Hey, JC. Hey, how you doing? Hey. Don't mean to bother you right before your holy day, okay? But hear me out. I think your homeboy, the Grim Reaper, I don't think his GPS is working properly. Could we get that fixed? Could you bippity boppity snap a finger or two and fix that? Okay, thank you. I'll be good tomorrow. Promise.
in 30 minutes.
Hey, he's sleeping during the day and rambling at night. Yes. Oh, they've started.
He insists that we will reschedule this event in the next 30 days.
Oh, the event will be rescheduled in the next 30 days. Hold on. I'll turn this. I'll look.
That he wanted to do it tonight. He wanted to, despite the news, but has to follow security protocol. I said earlier tonight that journalism is a public service because when there is an emergency, we run to the crisis, not away from it.
Girl, y'all were the crisis tonight.
When you're thinking about the freedoms in the First Amendment, we must also think about how fragile they are. I saw all of you reporting, and that's what we do.
Hold on, multiple of them will.
So,
hold on, I'm going to show you. I'm going to flip the camera.
Thank God everybody is safe. And thank you for coming together tonight. We will do this again. Thank you.
So, 1 minute. 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 1 minute
right, so you were just listening to Wei Zhejiang, the president of the White House Press Association, officially saying that law enforcement has requested that everyone leave the premises.
Well, yeah, they kind of need to like investigate and things. But since I already got y'all flipped, we're gonna do it this way so y'all can actually see these responses, and you know I'm not BSing you. So let's go back. This is Truth Social. You can see it says Truth Details up here, okay? Where he said, quite an evening in D.C., Secret Service and law enforcement did a fantastic job. They acted quickly and bravely. The shooter has been apprehended, and I have recommended that we let the show go on, but will entirely be guided by law enforcement. They will make a decision shortly. Regardless of that decision, the evening will be much different than planned, and we'll just plain have to do it again. These are the responses. Keep in mind, no one's been injured. There's no reports of anybody being injured. Hold on, I'm going to to block this real quick, but I need to move this screen back over here. Whoops. So I can keep up and keep up with the captions to keep you all up to date. As you can see, fight. These are the responses. Yeah, there's an ad. Scale of 1 to 10, rate Trump's performance as president, 0. Pray for, he's not been injured. It's bizarre. Pray for President Trump. What are we praying for? I mean, I'm going to pray for him. I don't think there's a prayer that they won't. But I know, I wish the Grim Reaper would come through. I wonder if he used the ketchup on his face or his fries last time. I hope he did. I hope he didn't waste that good ketchup. Donald Trump learned their ways, learned their tricks, turned against them, and gave up everything to fight and win for the American people. Best president. What did he give up? Because he stole our sanity. He did. Strongest leadership in a chaotic moment. Donald J. Trump kept the focus where it belongs, on safety first, while showing resolve instead of panic. The praise for law enforcement matters. They stepped in fast and stopped a dangerous situation. That kind of recognition reinforces trust when it counts. I want to remind you all that this shooter, the alleged shooter, it was confirmed, was in the lobby before they had not crossed through the metal detectors. And what do you mean Trump was calm and showed? He was, oh my goodness. And then we have this ad, dream singles. For such conservative people that act like every single one of them are married or in heterosexual relationships, they sure do have a lot of ads for dating sites. Actually, hookup. That's a hooker. That's a prostituta. God bless this man. He's fighting for all of us. Who is all of us? God is not finished with America, but he don't know that man. Okay? If he was to call Jesus right now, Jesus would be like, new phone, who this? And who gave him my number? Absolutely not. Still he was not injured at all. The person was in the lobby. He was in the ballroom. He was successfully removed. Thank God you and the First Lady are safe. Who said you know what? As well as your administration in attendance. I'm pretty sure Melanoma was hoping that Trump would not be okay. I pray every day for your safety, President Trump, for Melania, your family, and all of your cabinet. May God cover, shield, and protect you from every form of harm or danger. I hope your Cuda biscuit stays dry for the rest of your life. I hope your Cuda biscuit is drier than a Popeye's biscuit and you never get any moisture for it.
I didn't know it was your birthday. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Here we go. Dream singles again. An AI prostitute. They can't call Jesus, doesn't allow phone calls. Right. Pray for the Trump family. This ain't the. No wonder she don't act like a stepmama, and she only acknowledge her son. Could you imagine a country that proclaims to love you and your family so much, but you ain't never in the family pictures? No Donnie Jr., no Eric, no Tiffany, no Ivanka, nobody. The Trump family, no kids, Potter kids. Like, this is crazy. It's a very sad day for America when an American president has to fight the Democrats in order to protect the American people. Where's this fight? When is this fight? Okay, so Trump is about to hold a press briefing. Lord have mercy. People done wasted their good dresses, their good babysitters, their good hair and makeup. Like, was it really shots fired, or was it just bad gas from Trump? Like for real. I'm going to move the feed back over. Whoops. I do not, hold on. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna flip the camera back around real quick. Okay, like I said, I got multiple screens going. Multiple screens going. I am going to put up the... Wait a second. Where is the PB? Let's check back in on PBS real quick. I'm gonna put the feed back up and turn the volume back up. I thought that I would just be covering the correspondence dinner and like taking some notes. I'm a little hungry, so I'm gonna go grab something to eat, but I don't want y'all to be without. They are setting up for
and the reason that this dinner is at the Hilton, the Washington Hilton,
they're setting up a presser for Trump.
Large. And you know, if you wanted to have
you know what? This would have been
no other hotel can accommodate
Whoa. I just thought about something, you guys. For the White House Correspondents' Dinner, they're right. With the East Wing gone and everything, the only place that is big enough is the Hilton, which is outside of the White House. How much you want to bet this was a stunt to push forward to get the funding for us, the taxpayers, to pay for his elaborate ballroom and to speed up? Okay. I'm going to cut this up. I'm going to go grab something to eat. I'll be right back.
You can see the journalists are all making their way out. I'm standing next to the ABC News table. Drinks are...
this is the C-SPAN coverage that you're watching right now.
But
I'll be right back.
The room is clearing out. There was that announcement you heard from Wei Zhang that
you're right. They can't find... he keeps firing architects. I'll be right back.
And that it's going to be happening in less than a half an hour, saying that's not a joke. There was almost an audible groan from some of the reporters in the room when they heard that, because many of them then started moving very quickly to the doors, knowing that they had to cover it. This is the White House press corps, and they are, many of them, off to the White House now to continue this story.
And that's a very good point. This is the White House press corps, and they're going to make their way down. Well, the president...
It's a long walk.
It is a long walk in uncomfortable shoes.
Yes.
And Karen Bohan, is it important? I mean, the cameras can be turned on. Is it important to be in the Brady briefing room for this press conference as a reporter?
Very
Instead
important.
Instead of watching it on TV?
I think for the reporters in this room, and there are a lot of reporters in this room who cover other beats. They cover the Pentagon, they cover the State Department. For the reporters who cover the White House every day, they're going to want to be in the press room and be there for that statement.
Hey, John McCardle, have you exited the ballroom yet? Are you in the lobby, or are you still kind of hanging out? Because we still see people in the ballroom hanging out. Oh. No, I don't hear John. Sorry about that.
You got a good enough signal out of here.
There we
Had
go.
a couple folks.
I think we lost John one more time from the ballroom, but we appreciate the effort of keep trying. But look, people are still hanging out down there, so they haven't quite left the room. It's a lot more empty than it was, but not everybody is gone. Let's talk to our viewers. Karen is in Petoskey, Michigan. Karen, you're on C-SPAN. What do you think about what's happening tonight? Karen, are you with us? All right, let's try Donnie in Indianapolis. Donnie, you are on C-SPAN. Please give us your thoughts about what's happening tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me. I feel like I'm just approaching this as a concerned citizen from a few different angles. I'm a high school teacher. Trying to deal with this. We're supposed to have freedom of the press, freedom of speech. Now it's like every single thing, it's like we have to be concerned about, are we truly facing some type of is this a false flag? I hope not. I don't want to even say that, but as a concerned citizen here, what can we do? What's the next steps? Where are our leaders here?
Donnie, thank you very much. What do you teach in high school?
I'm a high school business teacher.
Okay. So is this, we often on this night, when the White House Correspondents' Dinner is happening, get calls from college students and high school students who have either been assigned or are just watching it on their own. Donnie, do you think your students are connected to the larger world?
What the heck?
Yeah, definitely. I think this is something that they take seriously, and they want to be vocal about, and they want to participate in. And
promise y'all,
this type of thing.
Old white men that they put on the news piss me off. They piss me off. Why do they always think that nobody cares about what literally affects them? Very weird question. Sorry that I left y'all with them so long. My bad. Look at me thinking that other journalists would have integrity, but of course not. I know better, because I'm sure there's somebody right now sensationalizing this whole thing incredibly. They're probably going, we have breaking news, and this is what the person looks like, and this. No, we don't know what the person looks like. We don't have a verifiable name. I have seen rolling through different things on social media of people going, oh, it was this person or that person, or they had this. We don't know. It is better to be slow with a story than be fast and wrong, especially now. There's no reason to fearmonger. There's no need for any of that. There really isn't. Oh, thank you. It's because I've got my other 2 cups in here on the floor. I gotta wash them. Because the one I dropped yesterday on accident. Not really paying attention. But I do feel that, all jokes aside, these people, because they're losing, you're right. But these people, and I mean it. New video of Kate. Okay. These people, they've wasted good babysitters. Yes, there are journalists out there that make good money. There are those that really don't. And a lot of independent journalists, etc., don't have that. And I want you to think. This events like this are traumatizing. And even for those that are like, oh, this is obviously a setup. Do you really think that they told a room full of journalists that they were going to set this up? This is traumatizing. These are not people who in 30 days can all have the night off again, that can get babysitters again if they need them, or get sitters for, because some people are caretakers for elderly family members or family with disabilities. Hair and makeup, and we're going into other seasons where some resources that were utilized for tonight may not be utilized for tomorrow. And who has the time in 30 days to go get a whole new dress? Because the fellas can wear that tux again, can wear that suit again. Unfortunately, the society that we live in, maybe you already been photographed in it. They don't care if it's a do-over night or not. And people done already read the room and was like, oh, Sheila came and Sheila had that on. When I come back, I got to... Y'all know how it is. Y'all know how it is. Yeah, the coordination, it is substantial. People on phones and And I'm very, like, as I'm watching the footage, there are photojournalists there with their cameras. And right now I'm watching people like crossbody their cameras and they're on their phones. And I'm not going into a conspiracy here. I don't do that. And the reason why I say that is, let me reiterate, okay? I want you to think of things like this. This lobby, this part of the lobby where the metal detectors would be, okay? And we'll say my water bottle is the ballroom. Shots fired here. Shots fired here. Then we have the spectacle of them showing us footage of the National Guard. The National Guard springing into action, placing themselves at the back of the ballroom with tons of correspondents in the middle, and then the entrance to the ballroom behind them. Now, if you're going off of panic, if you're letting adrenaline take over you, you're like, oh, that's so heroic. That is not. That is not. Why are we going to the back? To secure what? We've already got the important people out. Why aren't we securing the perimeter? The person was in the lobby of the hotel. The portion of the lobby that is before one would get to the metal detectors leading to the ballroom. What if this is a test run? I wouldn't say do it here. It makes more sense because he's been pushing for this ballroom. To me, it feels like this is why we need a ballroom that's bigger and grander and Trumpier for security purposes. Because remember his latest narrative regarding the destroying of the East Wing and the need for a ballroom connected to the People's House, the White House, was national security. He first started to say that it was for the protection of the first family. Nobody cares about protecting the Trump family. Evidently, the National Guard and Secret Service don't care about protecting the Trump family because they keep having all these whoopsie doodles. And then it was like, oh, it's national security. It's national security because, if Trump and blah, blah, blah leave and go here. How about we stop putting the line of secession all together in one room all the damn time? I mean, I don't like any of them, but still. Oh, the food. The food. The food, the banquet staff that was banking on working a certain amount of hours, being paid a certain amount tonight. There are probably people who didn't go into or took time off of a second job or whatever. And the food, what are you going to do with all that food? Because from what I could see, a few bottles of wine, a few bottles of champagne on each table open, look like hors d'oeuvres, and looks like they started soup and salad. Yeah. Well, those of you might be right. But I'm just like, see what they're saying over here.
Ultimately saw last night.
Going.
Yours a sense, and I think you guys started to do this, but to get to the area that this event is actually held in, you walk through the front of the hotel, and then you have to go down 2 escalators that are very deep. It's why it took so long for me and others to even get service to try to get on television and start talking to people, let alone texting our families, telling them that we were okay, because there is no service, notoriously so, inside this event. And so it's only added to the confusion. But again, the question of security and how people were able to get by without showing tickets. I mean, a ticket is a flimsy piece of paper and can easily look like something that it's actually not. We're not talking about an event with barcodes. We're not talking about an event like the way you would go into a sports center or anything like that. And so I think that is going to be the central.
And that's another thing that's really bothering me. Why are we intentionally not learning? Why are we intentionally? And this is what I mean. This is what I mean. Charlie Kirk's life ended because even though you had to sign up for tickets, you could download a ticket or print out a ticket, no one was checking tickets. We live in a day and age where you can create your own QR code. We have QR codes everywhere. We use QR codes for a lot of things. Even a lot of travel, they're scanning them to get you to. So for a White House Correspondents' Dinner, we're still giving out flimsy pieces of paper that anybody could duplicate with ease. Because I remember when I graduated high school, they were like, everybody gets a certain amount of tickets. My mom was like, that ain't enough. And they was like, make it enough. My mama went to Kinko's. Because they made nothing about it special. And everybody got in. So you're telling me they're still doing this? That's peculiar. Why is this round of law enforcement for this administration so willingly inept? Because there was not an overhaul of this. Yes, we know during the time of Doge, there was a breaking down to essentially a skeleton crew. But this is just like with the whole ICE situation and Bavino. 30 years in the game was Bavino. These are not people who are new to this. These are people who've been true to this. Why all of a sudden is everybody inept? Why do we now all of a sudden don't have an order of operations? Why are we not learning from things? Like, if y'all just want that man to go to the other side, just say so. Exactly. That's what I'm getting at here, Rosa. Because I'm like, how are we doing it? And once again, like the young lady explained before I muted it, where the shooting allegedly took place, it doesn't make sense for a shooter to open fire. And this is why I say I want to wait for the official report to come out, because was it one of those jump the gun, I want to look like the hero? Because we've seen too many instances with law enforcement acting as if they have no training. And there is an argument that really they don't. But you catch what I'm putting down. Like, they are very quick to just shoot instead of de-escalating, before assessing a situation, before reading the proverbial room. Because if you haven't even crossed through metal detectors yet, and you have to take 2 escalators downstairs, like, what was the point? What was the point? That's like trying to rob a bank from outside the bank and 2 blocks down. What was the reason? Okay, hold on. I'm not getting it over here. I'm going to pull it up over here. Oh, nope. So, hold on. Refreshing some feeds real quick to see if anything is updated. Bear with me. Well, the MAGA leopards are back to eating the brown man's face. Karsha Patel's face. DEI Kash Patel has failed at his job again. What about the Kash Patel gang? 1, Fat Satan wants the show to go on despite the immense threat. 2, why is Kash Patel there? That is my question. This is the most social, in-your-face FBI director we've ever had, and we started with J. Edgar Hoover. Let that sink in. Kash Patel is at all the parties, all the social events, all the shindigs. He is in a camera more than a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model. And the FBI started with director J. Edgar Hoover. There was never a perp walk or propaganda that Hoover didn't like and didn't want to be the face of. They called Trump Fat Satan. Okay. Okay, so. All right, we have an account from. Oops. Go back up. Open back up. Good grief. Okay, everybody, so many people. I don't know why this is freezing all of a sudden. There we go. So we have an account from a correspondent from the New York Times, from Sean McCreesh of the New York Times. This is what he says he witnessed while at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Okay? Secret Service agents pulled guns. There was pandemonium. Kash Patel's girlfriend was hiding in a room with some other man. I forgot Turtle Man had a girlfriend. You know what? He got to hold on to that director position, because if he lose that job, that woman ain't gonna let him whiff her standing up cooter biscuit air no more. But let's continue. And this is being shared on Twitter. Yes, we know what Elon Musk calls it. We call it what his OG daddy calls it, okay? And the gentleman's name is Sean McCreesh. This is what's being shared about his experience. Okay? I'm one of the small number of journalists traveling with the White House press pool tonight. We were in a hall just outside the ballroom when the commotion first rang out. Several things happened in quick succession. Tuxedoed agents pulled out guns and began running toward the ballroom. If the shots aren't being fired from the ballroom, why are we running? White-jacketed caterers screamed and bolted for stairwells. Pandemonium reigned as top cabinet officials were evacuated. Robert Kennedy Jr. and his wife, Cheryl Hines, came out and were ushered into an elevator. Then Jeanine Pirro emerged. The FBI director, Kash Patel, came tearing across the hallway with 2 men in tow. His girlfriend was hiding in a room with another man who was holding her hand. Reporters are about to be taken back into the ballroom. The show will go on, apparently. Now, we do know that the show will not go on, and that looks like from the White House briefing room, press room, that they're going to have a bit of a briefing. Woo! Okay, I almost knocked over my cup. So there we have that. Lord. Let's see. Has Kash Patel begun to investigate the dire situation that just unfolded? Has he sobered up? Kash Patel will be on the scene 33 hours later after he sobers up and locates his jacket under all his beer cans. Now, there are people already online saying that this is another fake attempt to divert attention and raise lowest in history approval ratings. Even the Cybertrucks Cybertrucks in Texas have removed Trump decals. No Trump flag either. between Kash Patel and Pete Hegseth. I can't make up my mind who deserves to be fired more. Take them both out. Okay. It's the liquor cabinet. We don't have a presidential cabinet anymore. It's a liquor cabinet, okay? Everybody that's stepping down, everybody that's being investigated, we're finding out. They like the liquor. The liquor and the ladies. Okay. Looks like they are about to start the presser. They are testing. Oops, they're testing mics as we speak. Hold on. Let's see. The FBI is reportedly investigating the author of a New York Times story that made Kash Patel look bad, but then he was arrested for public urination. So let the discovery begin. Trump has to like rap music. Always the shooting around time for a release reelect. He's going lying after midnight out in the moonlight. This woman is so dramatic. Oh my goodness, they're fixing flags, so any minute they're starting. Let's see. So according to reports, Kash Patel is saying that the White House correspondent shooting had nothing to do with Israel and tells questioners to stop asking and insists the two are completely unrelated. Who the hell put those two together? I guess. I don't know. There are indications that part of this press conference will be to announce that Kash Patel has been let go. Right now, that is just allegedly. Let me repeat. Right now, that is just allegedly. I guess when Kash Patel arrived tonight, multiple media outlets were asking who invited him. It's a good joke. It's a great joke, even. Kash Patel is always slipping up, saying things. So it might be. Now, because I know some people are going to grab hold of this and run with it for a conspiracy for the sake of full transparency, especially before we go into this press conference whenever it begins, because we're going to stay here till we get all the information we can. Just want to be clear. On Fox News tonight, Fox Entertainment News, Caroline Leavitt, yes, Miss about to go on maternity leave herself, okay, said, everybody should watch tonight because Donald Trump will be bringing the heat and there will be shots fired. Now, we know there are people that'll be like, see, they knew. This is indication that they was behind it and it was a conspiracy. Let us not forget that sayings, colloquialisms do exist, okay? We have to stop trying to read deeper into some stuff. Y'all were no different than the multitude of episodes of Law and Order where they wanted to convict somebody because once upon a time in 1982, somebody screamed out, I'll kill you. I will kill you. Yeah, that doesn't mean that that's what they're actually going to do. It is a wild way to put it, But let's not forget that Carolyn Levitt is like 28 years old, and she wants to keep acting like she's 23 and be accepted by the cool kids because she likes to try to hang out with the social media influencers that she has convinced Trump are media personalities and journalists, that she has gotten them press passes to her daily briefings. So, yeah, conspiracy. You're absolutely right, Trini. Hold on. Let's see if I can. It's like a 27-second clip.
I will tell you, this speech tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room. So everyone should tune in. It's going to be really great. I'm looking forward to hearing it.
I love it all. And you wrote...
Yeah, she wrote part of the speech for tonight. But now I know when somebody's like, oh, shots fired, or they're going to be taking shots. That is not something I want to hear when it comes to the sitting president of the United States. I'm going to need you to have some emotional regulation. I'm going to need you to have a level of maturity. Okay, part of the multitude of reasons why I would never run for president. Okay, because I'm going to be petty to an inconsiderate level. I would invite world leaders to the White House and serve them biscuits, no gravy, and tell them that we don't have any ice in the entirety of the D.C. area, the D.C. metropolitan area, and they would just get warm hose water. Like, you feel what I'm putting down? I would tell them that we will resume negotiations from a park at high noon within the first week of summer. Let them sweat it out. Like, I know that my emotional regulation is temperamental, a little bipolar, if you will. So no. Popeye's basically that, yeah. Yeah, that's why I said, for full disclosure, we need to put it out there now, because there are people that will misrepresent it. They won't play the clip for you. They won't do all of that. They'll be like, well, she said this, and they'll insert a whole narrative into there and all that stuff. Pipewater never heard anyone said in Cutter, you know, Trini, yeah, you're right. Give them a cuppa. Just put the cup in there by the shark. It'll be fine. Boil it. Boil it 5 minutes or so. It's okay. So, yeah. And once again, just to reiterate, in case you did not know, 1, the Hilton Hotel continues to work and operate as normal. Anybody can rent a room. There's no vetting or anything. It's a joke. I'm from the Bahamas. But I do have relatives from Jamaica. And sometimes I mash them up because in my household, there are small children of mine that pick up on all of our accents and mesh them together. But, so yeah. So the hotel was not locked down. They were not vetting people or anything else. Yes, you're absolutely right, Rose. I completely agree with you. Also, keep in mind that this incident happened in the lobby. And this is a portion of the lobby that was before the metal detectors were there. And to get to the ballroom, you had to go down 2 escalators at least before you got there. Speaking hieroglyph. We don't. Okay. You know what we do? Yeah. Yeah. Damn it. I thought I had a good argument to that, but I don't. That is the most accurate. Whoa. Wait till I tell my daddy tomorrow. Oh my goodness. Somebody said, calm down. It was just Kash Patel. He accidentally shot himself in the leg while doing pistol twirling tricks to impress the ladies. Kash Patel about to post shell casings with anti-Trump messages. so right. It's so right. This person makes a good point. They said between Erica Kirk, RFK Jr., Kash Patel, and so many others, how do we know the president was the target? Chhatrapati Patel. Now, there are some people that are like, oh, I find it so funny that everybody else was evacuated and then Kash Patel. Are y'all forgetting? I mean, I know it's easy to forget because he's always, he's a drunkard. He's the director of the FBI. That's law enforcement. Why would he be evacuated first? Why would he need evacuation? He should... That's like you making fun of the captain of the ship for being the last one off the ship. Still waiting on the press conference. Okay. Adam Cochran says this. It strikes me as worrying that 1, Iran talks fall apart again, which they did. 2, Trump is looking for a reason to re-engage. 3, he called Americans home from Pakistan, including the advance team. 4, he attends the correspondence dinner for the first time. And it really wasn't the first time. Like I said at the start of this, we know that time he was sitting in the audience and Obama so eloquently roasted him. Chef's kiss. 5, immediately there is an alleged shots fired incident with a dead shooter. If this develops into a claim that the shooter had anything to do with Iran, I'd be deeply skeptical and concerned that this is a false flag. Now, saying that the shooter is dead, that comes from Adam Cochran, who says that Caitlin Collins of CNN has reported that at least one Secret Service agent has told her that the gunman has been confirmed dead in the lobby. I have some issues with this because if you've been with us since the beginning of me covering this, first they said that the shooter was neutralized. Then they said that the Secret Service had them in custody. And I said, after years of doing this, we don't know what custody means. Custody means in a body bag. Custody means getting questioned, anything. And then Secret Service was like, oh, yeah, we have them in custody, but we don't know their condition. If I come and yoke you up and tell you to come with me, I kind of have an idea what your condition is. I know if you're coherent or not. But okay. Now they're saying that the person is dead in the lobby. But for a period of time, there were reporters that had not made it into the lobby yet, and some that were evacuated out of the lobby that could not get back in because only law enforcement could get in. But okay. This is not confirmed, but once again, I don't want people to use this for conspiracy theories or to paint a false narrative. There is a little scuttlebutt going around. Once again, this is not confirmed. This is 100% alleged. 100% alleged that Mr. Turtle Patel was drunk at the dinner. Watch people well, they have to keep people updated, especially the people that are there on the premises for the sake of their safety. And this is a collection of journalists. The only secret a journalist can hold is the name of their source. That's it. Okay. I ain't gonna lie to you. Okay. A journalist ain't gonna hold no secret. Okay, you tell a journalist some information at 1 o'clock. By 1 o'clock and 2 seconds, everybody gonna know. Everybody in the press gonna know. Yeah, they they gonna tell everybody. All your business, all your business. So. Okay. All right. Hold on. Alrighty. Hold on. Okay, I believe this is. Caitlin Collins. I believe this is when she called in. She is a reporter for CNN, but I believe this is when she called in. To CNN. It says Trump cabinet rushed from WHCD event after loud sounds. So the sound that you hear now is Caitlin Collins.
The president actually was not evacuated off stage. I looked; he was sitting still right there. A Secret Service was coming in and down the.
Okay. Yes. Just confirmed. This is Caitlin Collins of CNN calling in live to CNN. This is the voice that you will hear. I'm going to back it up so you can hear it clearly. Hold on. Just un momente. There we go.
And the president actually was not evacuated off stage. I looked; he was sitting still right there. A Secret Service was coming in and down the hallway, and so we didn't know at first, but then we heard from our own security that they heard shots fired. And now we do have Secret Service telling us, obviously I want to know this is only one Secret Service member, but a member of security is here telling us that there is a shooter who is confirmed dead. And now we are kind of basically locked inside the ballroom. But basically they were saying everyone's okay. They have not identified the shooter yet, but obviously it shows you this was not some kind of false threat, that obviously something had happened and they rushed the entire administration off stage. A few members, and the president actually was not evacuated.
Okay. Also, coming in, there are, like I told y'all before, traffic was starting to move in front of the Hilton, mostly law enforcement vehicles. There are law enforcement vehicles that are being reported and confirmed leaving the scene, but at the same time, FBI vehicles are arriving on the scene. Why? I don't know. Still waiting for this presser to begin. Those are sticking around. Thank you. Once we're done here, once I can get the footage, I will repost it over on YouTube for anybody that missed any parts of it. Only reason I didn't also go live on YouTube is because I've got multiple screens going and I could not give up another screen to lose out on updates. And more so for civilians, because keep in mind, regular schmegular people who may not have known that the White House Correspondents' Dinner was going on or anything in these hotels. The workers, everyone else. So, and if you remember, there was one young lady that was discussing saying, hey, the coverage, depending on where you are in the ballroom, is really spotty. You have to get to certain places to be able to call, to text, to tell your family members that you're okay. And since they're not really being concrete and quick enough and repeating this stuff enough, that the only person injured is the one that lost their life, the alleged shooter. Funny how that goes. So now we can't ask any questions. Now we don't know if this is a lone wolf situation. We don't know if there's a sleeper cell out here. And the reason why I'm saying this isn't on some conspiracy theory type stuff. This is on some recent history type stuff. Head of OpenAI, front door, firebombed. Let's not forget about Luigi Mangione. We are in a time where the target demographic of the subset of the GOP, MAGA, who they were targeting, is fed up. They realize they've been duped. They were duping themselves. They were duping each other. They were duped by the big dude. They're like, wait a minute, we were supposed to get X, Y, and Z because we did A, B, and C. We don't know at this point in time if they have sleeper cells out there, if there are groups and cliques that have plans to do anything. It makes zero sense for law enforcement officers charged with protecting the who's who of our political government, meaning they are protecting us by default, wouldn't de-escalate the situation to be able to ask questions and backtrack. Because the way they're handling this, pretty sure they have not secured this alleged shooter's residence. They have no idea of family members' names, friends' names, how they got there, We've seen how this current iteration of the Federal Bureau of Investigations has handled things. They will push out propaganda and hope that this lands into a Trump-friendly, propaganda-friendly judge. Because the only conviction we've had from any of these attempts on Trump is the one where no shots were fired and the person wasn't even on the premises. If you remember, at Mar-a-Lago, by a fence, he dropped the backpack, dropped some stuff, got in the car and drove away, and they convicted him this year. So, what if the culprit was someone with mental health issues and they decided it was a worthy sacrifice? Yeah. Post first, investigate later, maybe. Yeah, that's pretty much what they're doing. And I don't like that. And you know me, Katie, I'd rather be slow with the story than run to try to scoop. No. Yeah, and Rosie, you make a good point, because what if this was someone who planned to take their life at the Hilton and it had nothing to do with politics? That's also a possibility. What if somebody just felt so downtrodden, their plan was suicide by cop and it had nothing to do with politics? Let's not forget also recent history. There was a former law enforcement officer who planned to go down to New Orleans, to Louisiana. And his plan was death by suicide by cop. He wanted to take some other people with him just out of his hate. It had nothing to do with politics. Okay, here we go, you guys.
Here's President Trump.
But incredibly acted upon by Secret Service and law enforcement. And this was an event dedicated to freedom of speech that was supposed to bring together members of both parties with members of the press.
Flip you guys around. I don't know.
And in a certain way it did. Because the fact that they just unified, I saw a room that was just totally unified. It was in one way very beautiful, a very beautiful thing to see a man charge a security checkpoint armed with multiple weapons. And he was taken down by some very brave members of Secret Service, and they acted very quickly and have just released, for purposes of transparency, clarity, I've ordered it to be put out. You probably have it by now. Put out on Truth and put out on many other platforms. A tape showing the violence of this thug that attacked our Constitution, and also showing how quickly Secret Service and law enforcement acted on our country's behalf. Really did a great job. One officer was shot, but saved by the fact that he was wearing obviously a very good bulletproof vest. He was shot from very close distance with a very powerful gun, and the vest did the job. I just spoke to the officer, and he's doing great. He's in great shape. He has very high spirits, and we told him we love him and respect him, and he's a very proud guy. He's very proud of what he does, Secret Service agent. And we looked at all of the conditions that took place tonight, and I will say, you know, it's not a particularly secure building. And I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's got
told you.
It's drone-proof. It's bulletproof. Guys, we need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service. That's why the military are demanding it.
Now,
They've
Secret
wanted the
Service and
ballroom
the
for 150
and the
years
military is demanding a
lots
ballroom.
of different reasons, but today's
told y'all.
a little bit different because today we need levels of security that probably nobody's ever seen before. But everyone owes a tremendous debt of gratitude to the courage of law enforcement, the law enforcement, and working with the D.C. police, and we just spoke with the mayor. And when we're finished, the police chief is going to take over and discuss it also from their viewpoint. But they also performed exactly as they were supposed to, and you see the attacker in different positions, but you also see the attacker totally subdued and under control. So as you know, this is not the first time in the past couple of years that our republic has been attacked by a would-be assassin who sought to kill. In Butler, Pennsylvania, less than 2 years ago, you all know that story, and in Palm Beach, Florida, a few months after that, we came close. We really had, again, we had some great work done by law enforcement. But in light of this evening's events, I ask that all Americans recommit with their hearts in resolving our difference peacefully. We have to resolve our differences. I will say, you had Republicans, Democrats, independents, conservatives, liberals, and progressives. Those words are interchangeable, perhaps, but maybe they're not. But yet everybody in that room, big crowd, record-setting crowd. There was a record-setting group of people.
They're journalists, not politicians, you goofy
and coming together. I watched, and I was very, very impressed by that.
You were watching The Mentalist at the time that happened.
First Lady and I were taken very well care of, very quickly rushed off the stage. Vice President J.D. Vance, who's here, was likewise beautifully done. He was just saying how quickly everybody acted, law enforcement, Secret Service in particular in this case, but law enforcement. Marco had the same thing. Pete was there. Pete didn't want any help. He didn't want anybody to help him. He doesn't want anybody to help him, but he did get some, didn't you? And I think you also said that it was very impressive. So with that, I'd like to ask Todd Blanche to come up, say a few words, and tell you it's already underway. The man has been captured. They're going to his apartment. I guess he lives in California, and he's a sick person, a very sick person. And we don't want things like this to happen. I think it's very important that I say, though, and I told the representatives of the evening, they did such a beautiful job. It was such a beautiful evening. And again, they're talking about free speech in our Constitution. That's what it's all about, not just White House correspondence. It's really
you don't really like free speech, you big doof.
But I said very importantly that we'll do it again within the next 30 days.
I told you, Rosa, it's not making no sense.
Even nicer. So I just want to thank everybody that was involved. I also want to thank the press, the media. You've been very responsible in your coverage. I will say I've been seeing what's been out. You've been very responsible. So Todd Blanche, I'd like to say a few words, and then we're going to have cash. And then you're going to go on, and we can ask, I guess we can take a couple of questions. I want to thank the First Lady that was a rather traumatic experience for her. There's a lot of action taking place up there very quickly. But again, the response time was really incredible. And
a response time for a secure ballroom.
We're not going to let anybody take over our society. We're not going to cancel things out because we can't do that. We wanted to stay tonight. I will tell you, I fought like hell to stay. But it was protocol. They said, please, sir. Because they didn't know there was a lot of action.
Because they have to investigate. They're going to need ballistics, fingerprints, pictures.
We'll find out very quickly. They have it very well under control. So I want to thank everybody very much. And Todd Blanche, please.
We got to be stupid. They got to believe we're stupid.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Tonight you saw the very worst and the very best of this country. You saw the very worst by the actions of that coward that the president just talked about.
Maybe you
But
shouldn't
you
talk
also
about
saw the
people
very
until
best,
you investigate.
because you saw law enforcement do exactly what they're supposed to do. And you'll see the videos come out, I expect, very shortly, and you'll see law enforcement do exactly what we want them to do. And so I echo what what President Trump just said, that we are extraordinarily grateful and appreciative of the men and women of law enforcement that did their jobs tonight, including one who was injured. This investigation is ongoing. I expect you will see charges filed shortly. The charges should be self-evident given the conduct. But as you'll hear, there will be multiple charges around the shooting, around the possession of firearms, and anything else that we can get on this guy. The investigation is obviously ongoing and just started. There is federal law enforcement already working on search warrants and doing their job, and I don't want to get ahead of them.
You already got ahead of them. You've already characterized him. You've already said things.
Director Patel and I were just on the crime
scene.
Y'all
they got to stop telling Trump anything, because we know he holds about as much water as a colander, and he's going to season that colander water to the hilt.
Everybody's on the scene doing their job. I know that the police chief is going to give an update from the scene as soon as we're finished here.
Yeah, we're going to get
and
into
I
this in a minute.
lead the details.
Because I'm trying to figure out how he went from laying on the floor
But in the meantime, I just want to thank everybody in this room for the courage, and I want to thank President Trump for his words, and I promise you, justice will be served. Thank you, Dr. Patel.
Thank you, General. Thank you, Mr. President.
Are you going to meet him in Valhalla?
The President's absolutely right. You saw the best resolve of American law enforcement because you, Mr. President, inspire them 24/7.
Oh my goodness, can y'all stop sucking his dick from behind right now?
They know that you have their back. And that is a changing dynamic in this country, and that's why you saw brave Secret Service agents respond immediately, swiftly, subdue and take down the suspect, and safeguard the lives of thousands of individuals at that hotel. Thanks to our interagency partnership with the Department of Homeland Security and the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI was rapidly deployed onto the scene, took over the evidence response unit, is examining all the ballistics that were found on scene, to include the long gun and the shell casings. We are conducting witness interviews as we speak. You will hear from our team on the scene there.
Only in the United States can everybody just walk around willy-nilly with a damn long gun and nobody knows it until they start firing.
You saw the very best of America tonight.
We are good at concealing a lot of things.
At a time of uncertainty, because
evidently we can conceal long guns real well.
The Vice President that backs law enforcement, and the men and women that I shook their hands on the scene today could not have been prouder to show up on scene. And as the Attorney General said, make no mistake, we are conducting witness interviews. If you have any information whatsoever related to this event, 1-800-CALL-FBI. 1-800-CALL-FBI. No piece of information is too small. No piece of information is inadequate. We will evaluate it all. We will also be conducting interviews of those that were there. And if any of those individuals have information, please come forward to law enforcement or the FBI or the Metropolitan Police Department. We will be examining this individual's background thoroughly. That process has already started. And we are going to ensure that he was either a lone wolf actor or anyone else that was responsible.
So you haven't assured all of this. You already talking crap about him. Where if he's not a lone wolf, you have now further pissed off anybody in connection with him. Y'all are some doofs. You heard of Goof Troop. Now we got the Doof Troop.
Then we go to the chair. Madam Chairman, I just want to say you did a fantastic job.
Of what?
What a beautiful evening, and we're going to reschedule. That it's very tough for her to ask a killer question, right? But you have done a fantastic job. Please.
Mr. President, I appreciate it. As you mentioned, it all happened so quickly, and I wonder, especially because unfortunately you have experience with these sorts of threats. In that moment, when you realize there was a threat.
You're done. Okay. We're going to get into some nitty gritty of some stuff, because there's some things that don't make any sense. And we're going to use the footage that Trump directed us to via Truth Social. Y'all heard him say it, right? Y'all heard him say it. That, he directed this information to be released and that we should take a look at it, right? So let's do that. Okay? That's her, that's Trump, that's Melania. That's the mentalist. Oh, and that's Caroline Levitt. Did y'all catch how many people weren't even told to take cover? They were walked right off that stage. But yes, let's give gold stars to people just doing their job. Now you see how clear this is. Okay? This is supposed to be the footage from tonight's incident. This right here.
It looks like you checked it twice.
Lieutenant Hudson, any monitoring this there?
Here it comes up. Shall I post it as soon as you pass down that?
18, go for
That's long gun. All of this didn't notice till shots fired, right? This is supposed to be the suspect. Remember, we were told by a member of the Secret Service that he was taken into custody. This is him. Right before the presser, we were told he was deceased. How do we get from here? No shirt on, no nothing. Like, it's so contradictory because now in the presser, according to Todd Blanche, the acting attorney general, he's going to be charged, but they just said he was dead. I don't know how he went from this. Well, I do, if it is true that we do know. But awfully calm, not fighting back, no nothing for somebody that's so crazed and everything else. Was the guy white? He looks white to me. I don't know. There's a close-up. Phenotypically looks white, but so yeah. We'll go back and listen to him spew some more.
So he was very far away from the room.
And what do you think when you saw the video of how fast he was going?
He was moving. He was really moving. And the reaction time was great. Boy, those guys, they had their guns drawn. Literally, by the time he was there, they were shooting.
That's right.
I thought they were very impressive.
So he pulled out a long gun and ran shooting.
I would not stand for that.
Okay.
No, I thought they were very impressive.
Thank you, President Trump, and thank you for updating us on the suspect earlier. Were you aware of any threats? Was your team aware of any threats beforehand? And do you believe you were the target of this tonight?
I guess. I mean, these people, they're crazy. They're crazy, and, you never know. He was very far away from me. He had to go through a lot. We had resources all over. We had resources sitting at tables, literally in disguise, sitting maybe at your table, who knows? But we had people all over the room, so he had a long way to go. That was really a first line of defense, and they got him. And they really, they acted incredibly. No, there was no notification. We had no idea. Go ahead, Kevin.
Any political motivations from this?
Well, you never know. Now, we'll be able to tell you that maybe by tomorrow or the next day. He's in custody, and they're asking him a lot of questions. I guess they're going over Todd, and they're...
So I guess he was resurrected because they were reporting to people that he was dead. Now he's alive.
They're over there, so they'll be able to tell you. Thank you, Caitlin.
President Trump, did the suspect say anything, or was he wearing anything that would allege some type of motive here?
No, I mean, he was a guy who looked pretty evil when he was down. They had him down. He was fighting hard. He was, in my opinion, a sick person. Who would do that but a sick person? But I think you're going to find everything about him. No reason to talk about it
this
now,
is fighting hard.
This time,
I'm not defending the shooter, but this is fighting hard.
They seem to think he was a lone wolf, and I feel that too.
Are you concerned about U.S. Secret Service protection ability? We saw several of the detainees take minutes to be escorted out the room.
No, they acted very quickly. No, I was very impressed by Secret Service. I mean, I'm the one, and Mark, Wayne, you would agree with that, I think. I'm the one that would complain. You don't have to complain for me. I would be complaining. I'd be up here right now saying they didn't do their job. Oh, believe me, because, it's my life. And I want to live because I want to make this country great. That's why I want to live. But when you're impactful, they go after you. When you're not impactful, they leave you alone. Okay, a couple of more. Go ahead, please.
Is there any indication that this shooting could have been linked to the war in Iran?
I don't think so, but you never know. We're going to know a lot. We have the best people in the world working on it, and we're going to know a lot. Please.
Mr. President, there's a lot. You, as well as some of us who have covered Butler, experienced another horrific day 2 years ago.
Yeah.
What felt similar? You had the First Lady with you today. What felt different? And you have another 2+ years in office. Are you concerned about something like this happening?
Well, I can't be concerned. I can only get great people. They did the job, in my opinion, a much better job than Butler. Butler had one weak spot that we all know about. Somebody should have been up there. But even Butler, we had our sniper on our side within 4.2 seconds from a distance of about 400 yards, one shot, and he was gone. And if he didn't do it now, he's David. His name was David. I say, hello, David, every time I see him. David, I like you very much, David. But think of that. Now, if he doesn't hit him, and he hit him right between the eyes from 400 yards without any notice, nobody knew. He heard a sound. He looked over, and there was actually a tree that was somewhat in his way. You know the story very well.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You know the story very well. Like, he's acting like he's George Washington. You know what? He is acting like George Washington with the damn cherry tree, because we found out that shit was a lie, too. But let's look at some raw footage that I found over on Instagram. The guy from Butler is deceased. He died on the scene. Wait a second. Wait a second. I want y'all to pay attention to something. This is Scott Bessent right here. Did you catch his smirk? Like, why are you smoking? It's weird. Like, he's entertained. He's a member of the like. Okay. I don't think we're gonna learn any more tonight. So I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna wrap it up. And then once it's doing what it's doing, I'll put this up in its entirety over on YouTube, so anybody who missed any parts of this can go back and look at it. Why walk on top of the tables, making yourself a bigger target? Why are we having a cabinet member not being evacuated and them not being surrounded by people? Because Scott Bessent could have been picked off right there. Okay. Also, what is the point of screaming "Go America" and USA if you believe that there's an active shooter? Why tell? The politicians aren't afraid, but the civilians are. Right. I want you to keep something in mind. Everyone that makes it into the inner circle of Trump, those that get some type of adjacency to him, know his BS and know the levels of his BS. I want you to keep that in mind. I want you to keep that in mind. And him still talking about Butler, but the person from Butler died on the scene. The person from the attempt at Mar-a-Lago was convicted. And he didn't even, there were no shots fired. There was nothing. And he just tried to argue his case, but it just didn't work. None of this makes any sense. And then the reporting that they didn't know the condition of the shooter's dead, the shooter's alive, and then all of the posturing, all the name calling to the shooter and everything. For what? Like, why are you intentionally not learning from recent history? Especially with the influx in young white male violence against the powers that be. Okay. Yeah, it has been a while, because for somebody who holds a grudge and wants to prosecute any and everybody that he feels has wronged him, he is generally mighty quiet about people trying to take his life. But what do I know? Like I said, gonna go ahead and wrap this up. If there are any other updates, I'll do my best to bring them to you. If there's any more breaking news regarding this, then I'll come back over here. Otherwise, try to get some rest. Like I said, I thought that I'd have some funny stories to tell y'all from the correspondence dinner. Especially since the grinder lunch wasn't very eventful. Well, it wasn't eventful at all, so no problem, no problem, no problem. So yeah. And all the footage that I've shown y'all is all the latest angles that were verified that I could show you. I'm pretty sure people will have other angles, but the footage that I showed you, the footage that Trump himself brought up that came from Truth Social, and then what I found from other places that was verified. I cannot speak for any other footage that is floating around the internet right now. I'm going to do my best to see what I can verify to bring to you. And then the days of AI and people quickly editing clips and stuff like that. So hope this helps. Rest well. Have a snack. Okay? Have a snack. As always, each one teach one, each one reach one. I will see you all later. Be good or be good at it.